Can you write a novel in 30 days? You absolutely can. It's not a big problem. You'd have to break it into bite-sized chunks, like so many tasks in life, and just stay with it. That's all. I remember a guy at medical school, going to medical school one time, and I was always amazed at everything, they were, it's scheduled, everything they were learning, and then they had rotations they had to do at the hospitals, things like that. And the guy just pointed out he never overwhelmed himself. He never got involved in absolute brutal all-night studying, but he never let a day go by. He just did enough every day so that he had control of it. He just had a handle on it. Even he kind of approached medical school the same way he approached junior high school when I first knew him, where obviously he didn't have the course load. He made time for other things. He made time for, doing a little sport every day, even in medical school, or going for a run, or, watching a little TV, whatever. But he didn't let days go by. He kept to his daily kind of stipend, what he laid out for himself, and he made it through, without a problem. So you absolutely can do it. But one suggestion is, do not do Nano Writing Month, National Writing Month. I think it's abbreviated. I think that's the title of it. And I believe it's been going on maybe 15, 20 years now. And it's every month during the month of November, where writers from around the country and I guess around the world sort of get together, mostly online, and they all try to write these novels. They look at it as a monumental task. There's a tremendous amount of hand-holding involved, and they basically think they say if you make 40,000 words, it's considered a novel, and even a terrible rough first draft counts, and there's celebrations and all this. Oh my God. It's over the top and it's unnecessary. Just do it yourself. Just give yourself 30 days and write the damn book. And I'm speaking from experience because I babied myself for a lot of years, thinking it was this monumental thing. Writing a novel, oh my God, that'll take a couple of years. And, that's, if you wrote it faster than that, it wouldn't be a real novel, et cetera, et cetera. That's ridiculous. You write 2,000 words a day for 30 days. Don't screw around. Don't miss any days. And you got a novel. You got a 60,000 word novel. In fact, you have longer. That's longer than necessary. 50,000 is widely considered the qualifier for a novel. So you have a little leeway there, actually. But again, 2,000 words a day, or divide it into 30 days into 50,000. Maybe you come out with about 1,700 words a day, whatever it takes. And just write that. Just let it flow. Outline if you need to help you out. That's probably the way to go. I don't like to outline, but maybe in this case, at least some plot points for you non-outliners. So you sit down every day sort of having an idea, or not sort of, but having an idea of what you're going to write about. That's important, to sit down every day, knowing where you're going with the story, rather than just mushing forward and trying to figure it out. I think mushing forward and figuring it out probably makes the best fiction in the end, but that does take longer. So have an idea whatever works for you, an outline, some plot points. Sometimes the day before, when you finish your session, you're tired. I've noticed you're tired, but you still have a little mental momentum going. At that point, just take 5 minutes and then write down 5 points, or however you want to do it, or one little paragraph description of where the book's going to go tomorrow, the next session. That's not a bad way to do it. But in any case, give yourself the 30 days, and do it. But you got to give yourself some kind of a personal, a threat of some kind of personal embarrassment. That's the way I like to handle it. And I like to announce it. And I've got actually a mailing list, for my own books on Amazon. And sometimes I will send out an announcement that, book 6 has come out. Here it is, whatever. And for those that are interested, book 7 will be out in a month, and I name the date that hopefully will be released. So I'm telling these people officially that this book will be released. And what I do is I make sure I have the cover made the title and the cover to the next book already made when I send out the first book. So I send out book 6, but I have the title and, I sent out the announcement that book 6 has come out, along with a photo of the title and of the cover of book 7, and saying this book will be out in 30 days, basically. And I have no idea what it's going to be about. I haven't started it, whatever. But now that puts the hammer down. The pressure's on me now because I've made it public, and I'm going to look bad if I don't come through. There are different ways to keep yourself publicly accountable. Another thing is, way I mentioned before, is to have a writing partner or a couple writing partners, and you're all doing it together, and you're sort of accountable to each other. But somehow, if you can be publicly accountable, where you're going to be shamed, you're going to feel shamed if you don't do it. It's amazing how just having that hanging over you forces you to keep moving. When you're having a day when it's not going well, and again you're thinking this is no good. Who would possibly read this, and how's this going to tie in to the rest of the book, etc. If you have it dangling over you, I got to finish this thing. You'll somehow plow through that, and you'll push forward and get it done. And one analogy I tell people is, let's say you were, hypothetically, you were arrested for some minor petty crime. Whether you did it or not, but you were arrested for something, accused of something, and you go to the judge, and the judge says, "Okay, well, we're gonna let you off. We're gonna give you, a probation or whatever it is here, provided that you turn in a novel to this court, a completed 50,000 word novel in 30 days. So if you come back in 30 days and you have your novel, now you're not going to jail. But sorry, you don't have that novel turned in, then you're going away. You're going to jail." What would a human being be able to accomplish under those circumstances? No problem. You write the novel. So I have less and less sympathy for the whiners. I've seen people, I have some friends that are very good writers, and I'm pretty sure they're never going to make it because they're too concerned about getting every word right and what the world's going to think of them. But again, in my opinion, write a novel in 30 days. You absolutely can do it. 2,000 words a day. Don't screw around. Don't miss any days. Don't overthink it. And don't worry all along as you're going along if it's any good. Just write it. And the third thing is, do not do a huge group function called such as Nano Month, where they hold your hand and they celebrate and that kind of stuff. They make too big a deal out of accomplishing it. And you need to be held more personally, locally accountable. Okay.